You had said Sunday night that considering who was in this regional, you guys would definitely have to score some runs to win this regional, and you had better bring the bats on the plane with you. It looks like you certainly did tonight. What helped you bang out all those hits tonight and get all those runs?
Swinging strikes, pretty selective. We walked once and we struck out twice. So we put balls in play, had good swings when we were up in the count. So it was just a total effort, I guess.
Did you do anything better at the plate than you had against Clemson?
No offense to Clemson, but Valerie Cagle wasn't out there. That's no. We kind of had the same approach as we did against Cagle. Hard drops and try to see it up and try to hit it in the air. So the kids tonight didn't throw quite as hard as Cagle does, but those pitchers were good. They had stats pretty envious of. They were good. There weren't slouches out there.
What adjustments did you see Rochard making after giving up that leadoff home run?
She got sharp, but it wasn't one of her best outings of the year. 4 walks, 3 hit by pitches. She's got to get sharper. And I told her that after the game. She's got to be better tomorrow. So she made some good pitches when she needed to. Got some pop-ups, 7 Ks, but she just needs to get sharper tomorrow. And that's to be expected when you're off for 6 days.
Were you when she gave up that leadoff home run? Were you like, oh no, or were you not too rattled?
Me personally, I was rattled because we shouldn't have thrown that pitch to her. I didn't think, it was low in the strike zone, and I think that kid was more of a low ball hitter. But I don't mind solo home runs; it doesn't bother me. You walk a kid or you hit a kid, and then they hit a home run. It's a 2-1 shot. It's a lot harder to deal with.
Thank you.
Yep.
David.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. How would you evaluate how your team was able to perform on this stage, considering that it had been a while since this team had played at the NCAA tournament?
I'm proud of them. I didn't see, I call it saucer eyes. I didn't see it tonight. The kids were focused. Kind of gave a Newt Rockne speech before the game, and that's not my style. I just said, you guys have gone through a lot this year. You deserve to be able to play well here. And so kind of gave them the freedom to just go out and play. And, it's just people sometimes forget this is our second regional here. I haven't been here for 15 years. It's still building something. So I saw something better today than I did a couple of years ago. So we're on the right track.
Yeah, it didn't seem like you were intimidated. With Keely, how do you feel like she was able to perform in the circle, especially, being in those pressure situations? Do you feel like that's the product of just a lot of experience coming into this game?
Yeah, I mean, not many pitchers throw as much as she has. And so she doesn't get rattled. She doesn't get too high or too low, but she's got experience, and that's a big deal. So she just she wants to pitch in these games. That's a big deal.
I also want to congrats on the exhibition for your family. How would you describe what the last couple of weeks have been like for you, and how is, I guess, being a father to changed your perspective as a coach, especially at this time of year when you're in the postseason?
Yeah, it's hard to describe. It was hard leaving him, but at the same time, I see my players as my kids, and I feel like I owe it to them to be here and be present. My son was born on Saturday, and Sunday afternoon I went to practice. So the kids were kind of mad at me for it, but it was only a couple hours. I needed to see my players. Got my son time in, so it's pretty indescribable. I'm glad I waited till I was 41 to have him, and not 21. I'm just a little bit more seasoned. I just don't deal with the lack of sleep as good as I did back then.
Congrats, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Eric.
Coach, you mentioned earlier about that experience from 2019. Tell me what you learned from that experience and your team learned from that experience 2 years ago that you think may have helped you tonight and may help you this weekend.
Yeah, I think good to see you again, Eric, by the way. It was a big time experience 2 years ago of going on the road at a hostile environment. I think our players looked in the stands a little bit too much, thought about the repercussions of winning and losing, not playing in the moment like we had all spring that year. I just think the game got too big. And so I'm anxious to see how we perform tomorrow. Arizona State's a good team, hit the crap out of it. They can pitch, they're good. And let's just see if we can play like we did tonight. Let's just play pitch to pitch. And if we can do that, then we know that we've gotten better from 2 years ago, regardless if we win or lose. And so that's what I'm looking for tomorrow.
What was this week like? Because you had a short week, unlike the other regionals. This regional starting tonight, you got to travel west. What was this week like from a preparation standpoint, and how you feel it went?
The first two things that concerned me coming out here were the heat and the time change. Softball, but right now our bodies are 3 hours ahead. So last night we went to bed at I think 8 o'clock, and so we woke up at 6. So that was a big deal. I had the players walk over here. It's a short walk to hit extra today, but I think it's just important to get out in the sun and feel it. But as far as the quick turnaround, it's not as bad. It's not like we had a couple weeks ago where it was 10 or 11 days. So preparation was fine.
Kelsey obviously was so big for you. Just talk about her and what she means to your team, and really leading the way there today after obviously giving up the first run of the game, but she led the offense tonight.
Yeah, she's a solid player, and she performs well in bigger games. She won a couple state championships in high school in Georgia. Her team won PGF one year. She doesn't get rattled by big situations, and that class in general doesn't. Bailey and Brown and Chavez and Slaw, they're all they know what to expect now. They come from good programs, and but Bennett, I've said it all along this spring. If she gets hot, she can carry you. She can carry you for the next 2 weeks, and looks like she's seeing the ball pretty well right now.
You mentioned you want to see some improvements into tomorrow, but to get that first game under your belt, it's always, nerves, first game in a couple years. You mentioned it's only the second tournament for this program in the last 15 years. Just do you feel not relief, but you kind of like, man, that was a big one to get over that hump, that first game. And now maybe you expect to play better this second game.
Yeah, it was a big win for us. I've been in, I don't know, it's my 15th year coaching. I think I've been in 14 regionals. They're not easy. I don't care if you're the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 4 seed, it doesn't matter. Like you take the wins, you're happy with the wins, and tomorrow's a new day. So, we just got to get some sleep, rest up, and watch some film on ASU, and get ready to go tomorrow.
Well, congrats, Coach, and congrats being a dad.
Thank you.
Chip.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
How comforting it is that you could, Bennett and Bailey were something like 4 for 7 tonight, and they'd had their moments of struggling just a little bit. How comforting it is to you to see them apparently break out and be ready to roll.
They're the old Reggie Jackson straw that stirs the drink. If they're hot, it's and Brownie gets on and they knock in runs, it just makes our lineup deeper. But those two kids can carry you, and it's been the top of the lineup that's been doing the most damage for us this year. But if these two come in clutch like they did tonight, it just makes our lineup a little bit deeper.
In the 7th inning, Keeley got into just a little bit of trouble. You made a mound visit without giving away any Pete secrets. What was the conversation about?
Assured him we had the lead. We had the lead, make good pitches. See what happens. It's just sometimes in those situations, you see the base was a runner on first and second, I think. And the tying run was up, but so what? Just go make pitches, and I think you can think about how big the moment is, but when you get right down to it, Keeley, you're borderline All-American this year. Throw strikes, and trust your stuff. And she did, and she got us out of it. But it was a little bit more nerve-wracking than I wanted.
Phil's carry.
Yeah,
Well, thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
thank you.
Any last question for Coach?